Hi, I'm Kevin Allen, and welcome to How to Pitch and Win. Now, imagine you're sitting in your office one day, and the general manager walks in and says to you, I've got good news. We're going to be pursuing the Acme Corporation in 2 weeks, and you're in charge. Now, I know what I felt like the first time I was asked to lead a presentation. I was thrilled. I was honored. I was petrified. As he left the office, I broke into a cold sweat, my mind racing, asking myself, good Lord, where do I start? What do I do? How in 2 weeks do I go from being absolutely nowhere to winning the business? Well, that's what my time with you is all about, the 7 steps to new business success. 7 steps will take you from a standing start to celebrating your win. Now, they are institutionalization, teamwork, closable prospects, the hidden agenda, the whole pursuit, theme and theater, and as a baseball player once said, it ain't over till it's over. Let's begin with institutionalization. A general once said, amateurs talk strategy, generals talk logistics, and I think that's absolutely true in new business. The pursuit of new business is a detail game, nothing to be left to chance. And while it's absolutely driven by the human element, there is no question that attention to detail and a process for this very human endeavor is absolutely essential. So you need to have a method to the madness, and the steps that I'm going to show you provide necessary structure and a common language so that everybody on your team is on the same page. Teamwork. New business benefits from a mix of personalities. No one person can do it alone. If you try it, I promise you'll end up in the hospital. These include the general, someone in charge, the politician, the person who understands the political landscape, the cheerleader, this is the eternal optimist, the nitpicker, the person who reminds you of the detail that needs to be attended to, the strategist, and of course, we're going to talk a lot about that later, the showman. As you assemble your team, choose carefully and remember that as a pitch leader, you are creating a climate for your team to be at their very best. Now, I have an expression. It's called the process shows up in the room. And what I mean by that is that if you create a wonderful process, if everyone gets along, it's a very challenging and exciting experience. That is what your prospect will see. If, on the other hand, there was too much politics, people fundamentally didn't agree, it was difficult during the run-up, I promise you, no matter how much you rehearse, your prospect is going to experience that. Closeable prospects. Now, I have 2 little big old puppies, and let me tell you, they love to chase. They chase everything. And while they're fast, and they spend a whole lot of energy, they never really do come up with much of anything. Your chase has to be highly focused on one single objective, a closable prospect. Now, there are 2 kinds of criteria, objective and subjective, to determine who is a closable prospect. The objective criteria is what we usually do. Conflict-free, the billings are good, we can make money and grow, we have a contact and so on, but it is the subjective criteria, the softer side, that is really the discerning factor, because this is the human element. What kind of quality work do they do and appreciate? What are their ethics? How would you describe their culture? What kind of people are in this company, and what do they believe? What do they value? In effect, are they emotionally and culturally compatible with you? The hidden agenda. In any pursuit, you've got to ask yourself, who are these people and what do they really want? This is the most important part. The most important step of your pursuit is establishing the hidden agenda. This is the unspoken, visceral desire that resides in the heart of your buyer. This is the emotional core. This is the real motivator behind every successful pitch. Probe deeply. Ask open-ended, emotionally oriented questions. Now, I mean, you're not going to go through their life story. How do you feel about your mother? You're going to ask them things like, well, what keeps you up at night? Or is there a commonly held value system in your company? Is there anything blocking your ambition? What do you want for the people of your company? My favorite, what are you looking to create that didn't exist before? The whole pursuit. Now, this begins the moment you are aware of the opportunity and ends literally 2 minutes before the decision is made. Most believe the most important part of the pursuit process is the hour and a half or so in the presentation room. This is a mistake. The presentation is a key part, but it's a validation point in an overall pursuit process. The pursuit strategy meeting. A key part of the process is launching what I call your pursuit strategy meeting. All the team comes, no exceptions. and begin with what I call a backgrounder. This is a document that describes the very basics of the company, the personnel, their company, their situation, basically the lay of the land. And then, in the same meeting, agree on what the hidden agenda is. Ask yourself, how does the hidden agenda that you have uncovered link to the brief that they've given you? Now, since you're in the early days of your presentation development, now's the time, with all the information that you've gathered and your understanding of the hidden agenda, to launch your contact strategy. Divide your team across like-minded prospects. Go and meet with them. And by the way, bring something proactive. Somebody told me that they wanted to wait. I want to wait. I want to save everything for the presentation. Don't save anything. You may never get the chance. Give them as much as you can. Theme and theater is one of my favorite parts. Presentation, as I mentioned, is the validation of all the efforts. It's the culmination, not a beginning point. So we've already said that. But you must create an experience that they will remember. Think of it as an experience creation, not a litany of fact. They will remember a single compelling theme that you've presented and how compelling you were in supporting it. Room theater. When you're preparing your presentation for your prospect, they will be looking to see the evidence that you care. I remember a client saying to me after the presentation, "I can't believe you went to all that trouble for us." That was their reaction. Yeah? It will speak volumes to them that you've prepared so well, so wonderfully. Rehearsal. Now, you know when real estate people often say there's three considerations: location, location, location. For me, in new business, there are three important concepts: rehearsal, rehearsal, and rehearsal. This is the difference between winning and losing. Now, you should have two rehearsals. The first we call the blocker. The blocker is usually 2 days or so prior to your presentation. All members of the team show up with their finished drafts. The dress rehearsal. Now, the dress rehearsal, this is showtime. This is in the room with all your props, with all your participants for real. You've got to try to recreate what your experience is going to be like. Be a coach. It's important for you to inspire, motivate, and encourage. If you've done your job in the blocker, you shouldn't be critiquing your team now. You should be making them feel like they're on fire. And most importantly, remove the risk of failure. Tell them to be themselves, because at the end of the day, that's what your prospect is buying. I had an early mentor of mine tell me, "Kevin, why don't you step out from behind that suit and let them get a feel of who you really are?" Yeah? That's what they're buying. Human connection is what it's all about. During the pitch. Now, during the pitch, if it's over 2 hours, please suggest a break. You can pick up useful vibes on how you're doing, and of course, it allows you to make human interaction over and above what's happening around that table. It ain't over till it's over. Now, one of the things that happens after the presentation is over is everybody waits. This, my friends, is when the decision is made. This is when the business is either won or lost. So swing quickly into action. Remember, you've already established a contact strategy. So get close to your prospects, as close and as soon as you can. I call it the 24-hour rule. They must hear from you in that time, or you will look slow. You can support your pitch answers with new evidence and turn around a concern with evidence not shared in the presentation itself. I can tell you, many a pitch that I've run has been made in my favor after the fact. Remember, above all, pitching is a human game, and the individuals who understand the heart of your prospect most will be declared the winner. Happy hunting, good luck to you, and bye for now.